guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a bins haul, and this one's gonna be a little interesting. So the bins were real rough this week. Now don't get me wrong, I found some really good stuff, but I was there for a really long time. I'm usually only there for about 3 hours. And like I usually leave when I feel like I've found enough items, or when like I've had enough, like if I start sneezing really bad. You know, the bins are just, you know, there's a lot of stuff flying in the air. I'm asthmatic, I'm an allergy case. So, you know, I generally hit a point in my day where I'm like, I gotta go. And I stayed well past that point. I get there like first thing in the morning, and I think I was there five and a half hours. Like I was there for a really long time, for me anyway. But I did manage to find some really good stuff, but it was just one of those days, like there was a lot of like damaged items in the bins. There was a lot of like heavy bedding. And if you've ever been to the bins, like, and you get like a heavy comforter on, you know, it just like, it makes it difficult to like sort through. But it's not like there was like one or two, you know, there's always some semblance of heavy bedding during the course of the day at the bins, but it felt like it was like every single bin had something with like heavy curtain, heavy comforters. If you do window treatments, you would have been in heaven, because I think some of the curtains there were like, you know, like, I don't know if you've ever priced custom window dressings, but they are like unbelievably expensive. So if somebody knew what they were doing, there was money to be found there, but I don't. So here we are. But anyway, like I did find some really good stuff, some cool brands, definitely some bolos in here, some bread and butter stuff that I've never picked up, so I'm interested to hear like your take on it. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. I think I've got about 35 pieces here, so I did get a decent sized haul at the end of that whole time. But we've got a lot to talk about, so why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. So we'll kick this off. I found quite a bit of linen this day, which makes me happy. Like I'm such a linen fiend. I pick it up all year long. It sells for me all year long, and we are right on the cusp of spring. So these are the kind of things that I am really keying in on right now. And the first piece I found was this cute like linen dress from Mayo Melly. This is like a shirt dress style dress, and it's about midi length, and it's got kind of like an exaggerated curved hem here. There's a few specks on this, but it's linen, so I know I'll be able to get it out. It's otherwise in great condition. I don't think that there's a size on this, but just kind of ballparking the size, this will probably go up to about a size extra large. I'll have to get some measurements on it, especially it's not like a super boxy cut, so I always want to make sure. It's got little shell buttons. This is the kind of thing that I will get probably between $30 and $35 for, and no doubt this will sell quickly. This is the kind of stuff that I love to pack for vacation, because it's like a swim cover up. It's also a dress to wear to dinner or to cocktails or whatever. And because it's linen, and if you're not a linen wearer, you just have to like learn to embrace the rumple. It's the kind of thing that even if you wear it once or twice, you threw it on over your bathing suit, you wore it out to dinner, you can still throw it on, because like the rumple becomes part of the look eventually with linen. And I'm here for that. So I love finding this kind of stuff, and I will pick it up anytime I see it. So next up, I grabbed this. Now, early in the day, I want to say in the first 2.5, 3 hours that I was at the bins, I think I only had like 10 things in my cart, which is a wildly low amount of things. And I'm talking 10 things that I still had to sort through to like make my final pass on. And this was one of them. So this is from Bohème. I'm really interested. Does anybody pick this brand up? I think it's a mall brand. I think it's about mid-priced. Sold comps look decent, between like 20 and 35 depending on what it was. I like the style of it. I like the color of it. You know, it's the right time for something like this. It's size small, so it's definitely like an oversized fit. I imagine that I'll get, again, somewhere between 20 and 30, maybe 35 on this. But let me know, do you pick up this brand? Do you like this brand? Do you wear this brand? You know, the stuff I've seen looks nice. Like, I don't think I've ever seen this label in the bins, because I would have recognized it. Like, I recognize the name from like mall stores, but let me know. I'm interested to hear everybody's experience with it. Does it sit forever? Is it like a Torrid right now that's sitting for a year, or is it something that's gonna fly out of my closet? Let's find out and share the knowledge. I thought it was really cute though. Next up, this adorable little cotton dress. This is from Free People, and I think it's like one of 2 Free People pieces that I found. And it's this little mini dress. It's all cotton, white, cotton lined as well. Oh, that's the back. This is the front. And it's like a little drop waist. I think that this is pretty modern. This looks like something that I could see being like really on trend right now with this kind of drop waist. So scoop neck, again, 100% cotton. It's got this pretty button-up back here. Size extra small, which, you know, but again, this falls into that little white dress, bridal, bachelorette party. This is like bachelorette trip. I could 100% see somebody wearing this on a, you know, nice dinner out on a destination bachelorette trip. So use all those keywords when you have these little white dresses. But something like this, I mean, I'll have to see. I do think that this is pretty current, so this might be something that gets a little bit of a higher price from Free People, but I generally will bank probably between like 25 and 35 on this. Next up, oh, here's the other Free People piece that I found. And so these are from We the Free, which is the brand for me that sells the fastest. I don't find a lot of the pants though, but these are like flare leg, like light purple. I don't know how well that light purple is showing up on camera. I think it looks kind of gray. Flare leg corduroys. So in a size 28, it looks like sold comps on these particular pants are between like 30 and 50, depending, I guess, on size and color. So we'll find out. But again, the flare leg, the pastel, we're coming into spring. This is like the right time to find something like this. They're kind of a transitional thing with them being corduroy. They've got a little bit of that like vintage indie flair. You can use like vintage style, you can use indie, you can use those kind of keywords for stuff like this. I think they'll go pretty quick and I'm interested to see how they do. It's funny, like I find a lot of shorts from Free People, and maybe this is because this is California and shorts are a year-round thing here. I don't know if I've ever found like corduroy pants from them. And it feels like very much like something Free People does, like that kind of boho style. Next up, this was an exciting find. I'm not sure if this is the older tag, but I definitely want you guys to make sure if this is not on your radar that you keep this name on your radar. These are Lunya. Obviously horrifically wrinkled right now, but Lunya makes really like high quality silk, like sleep clothes. Like if you can kind of see, this is something that they're kind of famous for. They've got this like kind of flyaway leg sleep short, 100% silk. It's washable silk, I'm almost positive. A lot of times you can find it from this tag. That's kind of like their little signature. But these, especially if you can find the set, like these can go, like the shorts alone can go like between $30 and $50. If you find the sleep set, like new, I wanna say the sleep set that's like a tank top and these shorts is like $250. This brand, you want to keep your eyes out for them. They're always, you know, if you're finding them in the bins, they're probably gonna look really crumpled up like this because silk wrinkles, but don't ever not double check silk when you see it in the bins because you never know what you're gonna find there. So that was an exciting find. I've never found anything other than a Lunya like sleep mask in the bins, and I have kept that sleep mask. They are so expensive, but the shape of them is perfect. If you're a sleep mask person and you want to treat yourself, treat yourself. I was not a sleep mask person until I found that sleep mask. Next up, a little Travis Mathew polo. This is one of my like good bread and butter brands. These things retail like $89. They're golf shirts. And I don't find, it's funny, like most of the polos that I find in the bins are smalls. And I'm gonna guess it's because the mediums and larges often get picked up like at the racks, at like the regular Goodwill stores. Cause again, you know, these are $90 retail. I believe this is a pretty modern like color. I'll get somewhere between $15 and $25 on this. Definitely keep your eyes out for the polos. Obviously mind your sourcing costs with that. Like don't go paying like $7 for something like this unless you're buying for yourself, in which case that is a steal of a deal. But the pants and the shorts, the pants I've sold up to like $50, the shorts generally in like the $35 to $45 range. So Peter Millar is another golf brand. It's a little bit higher end than Travis Mathew, but don't sleep on Travis Mathew. Like again, it's something that's not gonna get you like a ton of money, but it'll generally be a really quick sale for you. Even a size small. I've sold like 3 in the last week. And obviously we're at the cusp of spring here. And obviously we're at like the start of spring here. So like golf season is starting to ramp up. Now is like the perfect time, but these things are usually in and out of my closet so quick. And this is a great color. Next up, this is a good brand. And I think this might be the older tag, but I also don't think it matters. This is from Wilt. And I'm so interested, if you've ever found a Wilt piece, let me know. I've sold quite a few pieces from them. They're like a high quality t-shirt brand. I don't think I've ever found anything from Wilt that isn't like a t-shirt or a t-shirt dress or like a camisole. And they're very expensive. I wanna say, I think they're sold at like Saks. I think they're also sold at Nordstrom. This is like a little t-shirt dress, navy blue, in a gorgeous cotton slub. But this is just a great like around the house thing, size large, and wilt is very expensive. This was probably like $150 to $200 retail. So something like this I would probably get like $30 to $35 on, maybe a little bit more. I've sold t-shirts from them in that like $30 to $35 range. So definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. It might sit a little bit longer, but you'll probably get a little bit more for it. I'll pick it up anytime I see it because I love their stuff. And that falls like really squarely in the wheelhouse of the stuff that I like to sell. Oh, next, this is kind of funny. So I found this and the name on this, so first of all, this is like a silk paisley button-down shirt, which I think is super cute. Like it's very lightweight, 100% silk. And I think that just from a style standpoint, this is something that'll sell really well. The label on this was Pamela Dennis Private Client Group. And those of you who were around in the 90s probably remember Pamela Dennis. She did a lot of like red carpet design. She's a very, very high-end designer. And I'm just gonna give you like a little bit of a snapshot as to my delirium on this day. I found this and I'm like, oh, Pamela Dennis, didn't she do all of the Sex and the City costuming, which is Patricia Field. Well known. Like I am a little bit of a fashion nerd, and like Patricia Field, I know well, I know her work well. And that's how delirious I was that I completely just mixed up two names. And I didn't comp it when I was there, which is fine. I mean, it's a silk paisley button-down shirt. Like this is, again, this will sell just based on what it is, plus the name attached to it. But as it turns out, just for your knowledge, the label on this, if you looked closely, is Pamela Dennis Private Client Group. As it turns out, the Private Client Group was a line that she did for QVC. So it was like day wear, elevated day wear, obviously again, 100% silk. A lot of the stuff you see on QVC is, you know, polyesters and rayons and tencels and viscose and stuff. So this is still like a high-end piece, and it's obviously got a good name behind it, but just so you know, like don't go dropping $25, $30 on something like this if you find it in the thrift. You know, this will probably sell $30 to $35. And I don't think it'll take too long. It's a good size, it's a size 12. And again, it's beautifully made. But so that was a little slice of my delirium somewhere around hour 4. But either way, I think it's really pretty. Next up, now this is a bolo for sure. I told you I found quite a bit of linen, and this is, of course, one of my favorite brands to find. This is CP Shades. It's a white on white tag, so hopefully you can read that. It's a size large. It's about maxi length. This feels kind of midi length to me. It's basically kind of flared out with godets. You can kind of see that seaming. I don't know how much of the seaming you're actually seeing, but you can kind of see they flare it out. Instead of cutting from one piece of fabric, making it flare out, they cut it with godets. So they have like kind of a straight skirt, and then they inset triangles. The triangles are called godets. That's G-O-D-E-T, in case you need to Google that. But these skirts on the secondhand market go anywhere between like $75 and $120. So very excited to find this. Definitely a brand to be on the lookout for. The size, the bigger the better with these pieces. And I mean, if you see them, comfortably pay up for them. CP Shades is great. Great brand to find. I don't find it that often, but when I do, I'm always really excited. Next up, this is kind of a cool thing. Now I got this. Now this is something I totally would have picked up anyway, but I mostly picked this up because I had this like 80s Miami theme party to go to, and this just felt like I own 51% of this company to me. So this is like a heavyweight knit, kind of like a Santana knit if you're familiar with like the St. John Santana knit. So it's really heavyweight, and it's got like a gold fleck in it. I don't know if that's picking up at all on the camera, but the brand on this is Sandy Knit, which like the tag itself looks nice. The construction of this feels really, really nice. Nice heavyweight enameled buttons. They say Tiffany on them, which I'm confused about, but I'm not quite sure. I already went to the party. I already wore this. It was fantastic. I will probably see, I don't know, somewhere between maybe $30 and $40 on this. It's in like perfect condition. It's like a size large, and it's beautiful. Like this is a very classic kind of coastal preppy thing, and it's right up my alley. I have no doubt that this will go pretty quickly, and it served its purpose for me, so that was money well spent. But I figured I would get it for myself for that party, and I would also just sell it when I'm done with it. But let me know if you're familiar with Sandy Knit. I've never heard of it before. It's made in the US. Again, like the tag itself looks really nice. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was a pretty pricey piece back when it was made. But so I wish this was navy blue. If this was navy blue, I would not be selling it. Just such a fun thing to like have in your closet. Next up, another great bread and butter piece. This is J. Jill linen. This is vintage J. Jill. I want to say this is probably 90s. That tag is like late 90s, early 2000s, but it's 100% linen. It's this pretty like celery green color. It's like a little lightweight jacket, and it's got kind of a boxy fit with those little ruffle pockets there. And then on the back, it's got that like smocking for like extra movement. It's a size medium, but I'm looking at this. This could easily fit a size large. Like this is, for a size medium, a pretty oversized boxy fit. It's not particularly long, but it is quite boxy. I have no doubt this will go pretty quickly, you know, probably somewhere in that like $25 to $32 range. It's that nice heavyweight linen too. Next up, and I have my mom to thank for me finding this. So this is a little shirt from a brand called Chino, C-I-N-O. And my mom had found a shirt from this brand back in her bins back east. And it was like a brand neither of us knew anything about. She's like, it just looked really nice and it was well made and the fabrics were nice and the details were really nice. And when I listed it, it was an extra small. This is also an extra small. When I listed it, it sold in like 2 or 3 days for a decent price. I want to say it sold like $28. So as it turned out, when I did the research on it, it was a small boutique brand. I don't think that they're around anymore, but they sold in really high-end boutiques. They were like $190. And I really like the play on colors. Like this is super fun. Definitely a statement shirt. And the other one that I had was like navy blue and white. I have no doubt that this will sell as quick. It's in beautiful condition. Again, like just look at like the details on, this is like underneath the buttons. So first of all, the buttons are shell, but they have metal in them for like reinforcement. Then you have this like little bit of grosgrain ribbon to reinforce it because this is quite like lightweight. This is like a cotton lawn. Really cool piece. Let me know if any of you have ever found something from this brand. I was pretty excited to find a second piece. Again, I don't think that they were particularly big and they were quite pricey, so there's probably not too much of it around, but let me know if you've ever had any experience with it. And these colors are just beautiful. These fabrics are so pretty. Oh yes. Next up. So this is one of the things that I love to find. I love finding like vintage, I'm talking like 80s and before mall brands. And this is from Gap. So first of all, it's just a little like brown sweater. This feels all cotton, but I bet it's like a blend. Yeah, cotton Ramie, made in Hong Kong. So definitely 80s, probably closer to the earlier side of 80s. But who remembers this tag? I'll put it this way. I don't remember this tag because this was before I was shopping for myself. So but it's cute. Little brown sweater, brown obviously in right now. It's a collared sweater. I'm not sure if this is men's or women's. I'm gonna guess that this is women's, but I will probably get $30 to $35 on this all day. Anytime I find vintage Gap, it sells so quick for me. It's spring, so this might sit until fall, but I am never gonna leave behind something like this. And it's still in fantastic condition, you know? So I will grab vintage Gap, vintage Banana Republic, vintage Abercrombie. If you ever run across like an old Abercrombie tag from like before, I mean, obviously Y2K Abercrombie is a big thing right now, but if you can find like Abercrombie from when it was still like an actual outfitter, grab it. Those pieces go for a ton of money. So cool little find there. Okay, I'm interested to hear if anybody else sees this brand a lot or picks it up a lot. So this is from Joseph Ribkoff, and it's a little like cocktail dress. I'm trying to like show this how it goes. So it's got like straps that go over the shoulders, and then this, which is kind of like a halter style, and it's just got this little ruffled front, kind of a bodycon silhouette. Joseph Ribkoff is a really expensive designer, and the styles are a little bit more on the mature side. Like I know the woman who's wearing this dress. Like I've sold quite a few pieces from them, and they've tended to go for pretty good price. Now, again, I want to say that something like this from Joseph Ribkoff new would have been like $400 or $500. Like I think that they're very, very spendy. And quality wise, they're like out of this world. They're really made well. So I'm interested. How many people do you see this a lot? Do you pick it up a lot? Do you do this? Do you not pick it up anymore? Let me know if you are doing Joseph Ribkoff. Let me know your experience with this designer. But I generally pick it up when I see it, especially at the bins. They do tend to sit a little bit before they sell. They're one of those brands that'll sit a little while, but then fetch me a decent price. I do mind my cost on stuff like this, but I do pick it up, especially if I see it in good condition at the bins. This feels like brand new. Next up, this is a little linen, kind of boxy, breezy, trapeze style top from Saga. You know I love Saga. Tags all kind of tied up there, but Saga is a brand that has some boutiques around Southern California. I know that they're sold in boutiques kind of around the country. I love picking them up. Their linen pieces are in and out of my closet so quick. People really love them. They're not particularly expensive to buy retail. I want to say that something like this would have been like maybe somewhere between like $45 and $55, but this will sell for me all day between like 20 and 28. And the dresses will go probably up to like 35. But again, they sell so quick for me. This is the kind of stuff that even if I see it in a regular thrift at $4, $5, I would probably pick it up because I know that these are going to be like fast, reliable sellers for me. And like all year long, like I want to say in November, I think it was, I found like a little cache. It must have been like somebody's raw donation. And I had like 5 or 6 pieces of Saga linen in there. Again, November. And they were all sold with the exception of one piece, which I still have. They were all sold within like 2 weeks. So if you see it, pick it up. I love this brand. I know I find a lot of it because it's sold mostly here, but if you see it while you are out and about, for sure pick it up, especially if you're seeing it in the bins. Oh, these were really cool. So this, I wasn't familiar with this brand, but they are like balloon pants. I can't even call these joggers because they're very, very blousy. And they're from a brand called Clean, size large. And it's kind of like taupey color. These are like, they feel like linen, but I think that they're a linen blend. I think that they're like a linen rayon blend because they have a little bit more of a drape to them. I'm gonna do some research. I mean, they could be just a fine linen, just like a really fine woven linen. But something like this, again, fits into that boho. It fits into the log and look style, something that somebody would wear like a big blousy tunic over it. I mean, it's just so breezy and delicious. They've got nice big pockets, elastic waist. I mean, again, easy breezy. These look an absolute nightmare because they are so wrinkled right now, but I'm gonna do a little bit more research. But let me know if you are familiar with this brand, if you like to wear this brand. I know some of you out there are big into log and look, so let me know if this is a brand that you're really familiar with. I've never seen it before, but it is quite nice. Like the construction on it is really nice. The cut of it feels like very distinctive. So I have no doubt that these will fly out of my closet. I'm gonna guess based on sold comps that I saw, like sold comps on this brand were between like 30 and 50, so somewhere in that range. My ultimate goal in life is to feel like I'm in pajamas at all times but look pulled together. This kind of stuff allows that to happen. Oh, this was so cool. Okay, so next up, this is something from, and I guess I've been saying this wrong all along. It's Alberto Macaulay. I was calling it Macaulay. Anyway, it was this, I mean, can you see the sparkle on this? This is like very shiny silver. It's like a little poncho. It's so stinking cool. This falls into the like one size fits all kind of thing. It's not like, there's no sleeves. This is just literally like a little outfit topper. Does it have a size? It says a size large, but I wish you could like feel this fabric. Like it looks up close a little bit like chainmail. It's super cool. Now, Alberto Macaulay, as is said correctly, is a pretty expensive designer. I don't know where they were sold, but every piece that I've ever found from him has sold really well and for a pretty good profit. And this stuff is made really nice. I have no doubt that this will kind of, you know, follow suit. And the fact that it is like a poncho and can really fit lots of different sizes. So I'll probably see, I have no idea. I'll probably see 30, 35 on this. And I have no doubt that this will go quickly, especially with wedding season. This is something that can easily be thrown on over any dress to like jazz it up. It really does look like chainmail when you hold it up. Next up, oh, this was a cool one. Another linen piece. I'm telling you guys, I'm in linen mode right now, but also this was like really all I was finding. This is all I was finding this day. Not mad about that at all. But this is a linen shirt dress with a little like cinched waist here. This is from Blue Vintage by Saks Fifth Avenue. I guess it's one of their in-house lines. Size medium in this like natural color. So Saks Fifth Avenue, if nothing else, Saks Fifth Avenue itself sells a garment, just the name, high end. This probably retailed, I want to say a lot of their house line, something like this was probably about $198. And I'll probably get, I don't know, somewhere between 30 and 40 on this. It's in great condition, doesn't look like it's been worn much at all. It's a little totally classic linen dress that is pretty timeless. So I have no doubt this will sell really quickly. Again, like it was a linen kind of day. It was a linen kind of day at the bins. Oh, this was kind of an interesting find, and this is something that I might end up keeping for myself. So this is a sweatshirt from a brand called Elwood. And let me show you the tag here. This is a really highly sought after brand right now in the sweatshirt world. They make a lot of like matching sets. Really like nice quality, like feeling this is quite nice. It's a French terry. I like the brown color. There are a couple like speckles on the front of this. I think that they might be oil, which is fine. I can get that out, but the methods that I use to remove oil on something that is garment dyed like this, it might kind of disrupt the color. So my kind of backup plan for this is if the color gets a little bit weird on this, I'm just going to keep this for like a, chore sweatshirt because it is really nice and really soft. And I want to say that they retail like somewhere between $70 and $100. Like they're not cheap, but it's definitely a brand for you to keep your eyes out for. They do have a really they are selling really quickly. So if you're getting it at a good price, definitely pick it up. And I want to say like resale on, I think this is called the rectangle hoodie. I've seen anywhere between like 30 and 70. So I'm sure that there's some kind of like limited edition colors and stuff that come into play. But even if you're just looking for yourself for a good like cozy hoodie, check out Elwood. I mean, the quality on this is really, really nice. And I'm like excited to see if I can get this out. And to be totally honest, the more I hold this, even if I get the stains out, I might just keep it for myself. Cause I like the color and I like the cut and it's really nice. So we'll see if that goes for sale. I need another sweatshirt, like I need a hole in the head, but I got it at the bins, It's not like I'm paying $100 for it. All right, next up. Okay, so this is a Uniqlo piece, but it's one of the Uniqlo collabs. I've talked about these a lot. So this is a Uniqlo collaboration with Anna Sui. Anna Sui, obviously a designer you want to keep your eyes out for. I've found 2 or 3 pieces of her stuff and they've always sold really, really well. Like back in the early 2000s was like one of the designers. Like she just has such a cool vibe and she did this collab with Uniqlo. So this is like a maxi dress, very boho, lightweight cotton. This is a size extra large. And this is one of those collabs. Sold comps on this dress, I want to say, are between like 35 and 50, and this is in perfect condition. So I do recommend, especially as Uniqlos are getting more popular around the country. Like if you are in an area that has Uniqlos, I know that not every area has them just yet, but if you are in an area that has Uniqlos like nearby, I would do a little research into like which collabs are reselling really well, because your chances of finding them in the thrift and in the bins are higher than obviously if you're in an area that doesn't have them. And I'll tell you, it's worth the time investment. Also, I really can't speak more highly of the quality of Uniqlo pieces. Like they are bang for your buck if you are shopping new. If you are in a situation where you're like going on vacation in 2 days, you don't have time to ship anything in, you don't have time to buy secondhand and you have access to a Uniqlo, check them out. Like dollar for dollar, you will not get better quality clothing. Uniqlo is legit. I really like them. Anyway, this was a cool find, perfect condition. I have no doubt that'll go quickly, especially right now, given the season. All right, next up, and this is gonna be a lesson learned for all of us. Okay, so there's this cute dress that is this like pretty gold color, and it's got this belt that I believe wraps around the front, kind of maxi length with a little ruffle down at the bottom. The brand on this is Love Wit, and there's a couple things about this. I literally had my hands on this dress 3 times in the bins. The tag itself looks like it's something off of maybe like a boutique brand, but there were a couple little things. Number one, I just kept coming back to it. I really like the textile. I don't know if you can see the actual like woven detail of this textile, but there's like little spots. So there's just like, that kind of gave me a clue. The fact that it had this little tag like that tells me that it might have been part of like a rental system, like a Rent the Runway or a Nuuly or something like that. I don't know, I just kept coming back to it and I finally like looked up the brand, and sure enough, this is Whitney Port from The Hills. This is her brand and they're pretty expensive. They sell for about $200 on Revolve. So this is just my PSA that if you are out shopping, if you are out at the bins and you pick up something 2 or 3 times, like put it in your basket, take the time to comp it. Because I've had a couple things that I have found because I just kept coming back to them and I just kept coming back to this. So It's super cute. It's this pretty like citron yellow color. It's almost got like a little bit of a green tinge to it. Maxi dress. Again, this is a great like wedding guest dress, like garden parties. This is like a great springtime like special event dress. And I think it'll sell in no time flat. It's in great condition. So even if it was in one of those rental services, there's no damage to it, which I'm excited about. So like I said, PSA, if you see something and your gut keeps bringing you back to it, pick it up. And sometimes, you know, even like take the chance on it, especially if it's at the bins and you're able to get it for $1, $2. Like sometimes it's worth like just taking it home. Worst case scenario, you donate it back and you're losing $1, $2. Now $15, that might be a little too rich for, certainly for my blood, on a complete unknown, but at the bins, 100%. Take chances. Like that is the place to take chances. Oh, this one's so cool. Okay, another one that I was like, I know this name. So this is a little moto style jacket, and guys, moto is like having a moment right now again. So this is linen. I can't tell if this is faux leather or real leather, but the brand on this is Twinset from Simona Barbieri. This is like a Milan-based high-end Italian fashion line, and this is in like beautiful condition. So it's size large, which is I think pretty slim cut for a size large, and it is a linen cotton. It's in beautiful condition. So sold comps on this line are all over the place, but in general, they're quite high. This is a very, very expensive brand. So I anticipate getting, so I'm gonna do a little bit more research on like what the trend is. I'm obviously gonna put measurements in here because again, I think that this is really like slim cut for a large, but I'll probably see somewhere between like $40 and $75 on this. So cute. Again, perfect time for this. This is like a perfect spring jacket. I do like that the sleeves, though they are rigid on the outside, they have a nice like rib. They have like a nice rib knit on the underside. Construction is incredible. Nice, big, chunky zippers. I think that this is probably vintage Y2K because the tags now are a lot more like subtle. They're just like a little strip. So I'll have that going for it as well. But definitely like let me know if you've ever found a piece from Twinset, because this feels very different from everything else that I've seen when kind of going through and looking at the brand and looking at other things that they've sold. This feels very different from their general vibe, but let me know if you've had experience with it, because I'll tell you, this is beautifully made. And I'm gonna guess that this is faux leather just because it does have like instructions on like washing, and I don't think that they're gonna tell you to put leather in a washing machine. So probably faux leather, but if my suspicions are correct and this is Y2K, like this is in unbelievably good condition, because like faux leather, if not like cared for well, will absolutely positively like break down over time. It's just a fact of the material. So cool find. Oh, this is such a cool shirt. So this is from COS. COS is one of my favorite brands to find. It's one of my favorite brands to own. But look at how fun this is. Can you see how that's bouncing? So this is, I know there was a brand that kind of went viral for dresses that were like this. They were kind of like springy dresses. This is obviously COS, this is a bigger brand, and this is so right on trend for them. They're very much like a minimalist type brand, but this is so in that minimalist, that like modern minimalist world, despite the fact that it's busy and it's black and white stripes. The fact that it has these kind of fun, like just by the nature of the fabric, it's got this like fun play on shapes and volume. This will sell in no time flat. It's a size large, it's in great condition, kind of a boxy fit, super comfy, but like how fun. Like it's so rare that you find a fabric that has like built-in movement like this. I think it's super fun. I'll probably get like $35 on this, maybe a little bit more. COS is pretty expensive. It's not crazy expensive. I believe COS is owned by the H&M group, like the same group that owns H&M, but it's obviously higher end, better textiles, better construction just across the board. But they do have a bit of a cult following, and anything I've ever had from COS has like sold within 2 weeks. I think the only thing that I ever had from COS that took longer than like a week or two to sell was a dress in size 0. And I think that that just took a long time to sell sheerly because of the size. So size large from COS, that is generally like a guaranteed quick sell. And I just think that this is so fun. Next up, we are getting there, guys. This is 90s vintage Victoria's Secret gold label. That's the gold label that I speak of. This is just a little satin lace trim camisole with a button down front. Now this is not silk. I generally like to find pieces like this in silk, but I think because of the colors, because of like the fact that it's cropped, because of the fact that it's got that cute little button front, I have no doubt that this will fly out of my closet. I'll probably see like $20 to $25 on it. Size small. I like the colors. Lace is beaded. There's nice little details there. This is just the kind of thing that will be in and out of my closet really quickly. I love finding pieces like this, especially like I never find the brightly colored ones. I feel like I mostly find either black or red, which just have a definite vibe. This is a little bit more broad kind of appeal, I think. So fun. Next up, now I saw this sticking out of the bins and I know that back seaming. It's either Lululemon or a Lululemon dupe. So as soon as I found it, I started looking for the logo and I flipped it over and I mean, it was screaming at me. This is like the scuba oversized crop crew neck. There's the logo there in the back. I mean, it's new enough to still have this in here. Most people tear this out. I feel like they make this like intentionally like uncomfortable, so most people take it out, but this is in great condition. Size medium large. Sold comps on this are around like $40 to $50. I want to say retail. This is like 118. These scuba pieces are so expensive. But yeah, what a great find in the bins. And no doubt this will sell really quickly. Again, it's like a good size. It's a good color. It's got the big spell out logo, which people do like. This will be in and out of my closet in no time flat. Scuba stuff sells really fast to start with, and there's not much that has the big logo, but people do love it. The crazy thing is on this day, like the first 3 hours that I was there were so bad. Again, I think I only had like 10 items. Everything else I found was in those last 2 hours. So I don't know what happened in the back. I don't know if they started putting good stuff out, but did start to deliver finally. But I was in delirium at that point, so. Oh, next up, this I thought was so cute. This is actually a swim cover up from Nanette Lepore Swim. There you go. And this is like a cotton silk beach dress. So it's halter style on the front. And like the construction of these cups, like look at that piping. I just thought that this was really well made. It's double layer in here. This is triple layer. There's a little bit of interfacing to hold shape. It's got a little keyhole that feels like, this feels a little bit retro, a little bit like 1940s-esque. So it's a halter neck and then it ties around the back as well. It's high-low, it's got pockets, y'all. How many swim cover-ups have actual pockets? And it's in like brand new condition. It is a size small, but with it being the time, like this is something that I probably would have left behind if I found this in like October, November, but because of the time of the year, I think that this will move really quickly. Again, you're using resort wear, vacation, swim cover-up, bathing suit cover-up, make sure you're using both of those terms. In fact, like let me know. This is something that I always think about. Like I did a lot of SEO in, my marketing life. How many of you say bathing suit and how many of you say swimsuit? Like let me know down in the comments. It's like tomato, tomato. Do you see bathing suit or do you say swimsuit? So anyway, something like this, I'll probably get like $20 to $30 on. No doubt it'll go quickly. Again, I love the colors. It's in like brand new condition. It's obviously a wrinkled mess right now. I just think it is lovely. And I mean, honestly, this could be worn as a day dress. It is like kinda sheer. I think if you're wearing like nude undergarments or you're fine with a little bit of like light showing through, you'd be good. Like I don't think it's gonna show all the goods, but definitely this is like a poolside to cocktails dress all day. Oh, this was an interesting one. I'm very interested to hear how many of you are familiar with this brand. It's this cute like boho top. It's this interesting like garment dye. It's almost like a mineral wash garment dye. And the brand on this is Greti Zuger. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Let me know. I know a lot of you are like personally into the boho style. So let me know if you are familiar with this. Like her pieces are all kind of have this flavor, this kind of like mineral wash flavor. A lot of her pieces are linen or gauze, but they have this kind of similar like tunic, lace trim. The quality looks really good. Like the quality on this is outstanding. I want to say that this was somewhere between like $90 and $125. I can't remember. I looked at a lot of things on the website and the resale on them looks really decent as well. Is this a pocket? Oh, look at that cute little pocket and it's trimmed with this pretty embroidery detail. Like I said, quality on this is like unbelievable, and resale looks decent on these. Now I think these are like amongst the cheapest pieces that she makes, these kind of these more like jersey pieces. It looks like the more in-demand pieces are linen for obvious reasons, but I'll probably see somewhere between like 35 and 45 on this. That looks to be about what the sold comps are going for, but let me know if you're familiar, because this is definitely going to be a brand that is on my radar now. I hope I find some more. Really, really beautiful though. I swear, I absolutely never go to the bins without learning at least one, if not two, three, four new brands. And we've got some good ones here. Oh, this one is so cool. Okay, so first of all, I picked this up because, I mean, it's beautiful. It's trimmed and this feels like silk. And the feel of this, I don't know, I mean, you can probably see a little bit. This feels like mohair. There's like just a very distinct kind of like peach to it that mohair has. Yeah, so okay, so it's wool, mohair, polyester, and nylon. Anyway, the main reason I wanted to grab this, first of all, this is from Anthropologie. This is from a brand called Project Alabama, but I wanted to raise awareness about Project Alabama. So this is the tag that Anthropologie used. But Project Alabama in and of itself got its start making these incredible, like one-of-a-kind garments that were like multiple layers of jersey, like all top stitched together. I'll see if I can find a picture of one and put it right here. They have a very distinctive tag that's big, and each one of these pieces is one of a kind and handmade. They're rare, but if you can find one, you're gonna be getting probably somewhere between $100 and $200 on it. This I'll probably see, again, this is like an Anthropologie piece. It's in fantastic condition. It is really pretty, but it's not the Project Alabama of yore. I don't think that they were making those handmade pieces for all that long before this kind of stuff was being made. Isn't that so pretty? It's like the perfect amount of sparkle on that. If you can find them, they are literal like works of art. Let me know if you have ever found one, if you have ever seen one. Again, I think that they're pretty rare, but they are highly sought after. So if you ever find one, it will probably be in and out of your hands lickety split. But if you're interested in stories like that, you should go and read up on Project Alabama. I've found one or two pieces over time of the line that Anthropologie did, and anytime I show it in my hauls, I want to talk about like the Project Alabama you really should be looking for, because I just think it's a really interesting story. So anyway, entertain yourself. If you got 5 minutes to go and do a deep dive on a really interesting story, go and check out Project Alabama. But again, something like this I'll probably get somewhere 25 to 35 on, but if this was one of the Project Alabama pieces, and to be clear, I have never found one, you will get a pretty penny for them. And I always talk about like the moral imperative of making sure that certain pieces don't end up in the waste stream. Like, these things are handmade artware, true artware. So if you see one, grab it, comfortably pay up for it. Next up, speaking of wearable art, okay, so I saw this and I was like, what in the world is it? So this is a scarf, and the edge of this, I recognize this is like, so I have a friend who is a textile artist. She makes like literal art out of textiles. She does stitch art and needle felting. So this is like needle felting. So I recognize the feel of that. The inside is this beautiful like silk scarf. So I'm like, this is too weird, too pretty. And I like the way that it has this like little ripple when it's being worn. Like, this has a lot more body than the scarf does. So it kind of develops this really pretty ripple. So I'm like, you know what? Worst case scenario, I'm gonna bring this home and give it as a gift to somebody. So like, of course I go on a deep dive to figure out like what this is. And this is what they call, I think I'm saying this right, Nuno felting. And guys, if you are into like artware, and you have never heard of this, I urge you to go and take a look at Nuno, N-U-N-O, Nuno felted scarves, because oh my God, this is about the most simplistic that you're going to find. Some of these things look like, I mean, they look almost like alien creations. With like needle felting, you can create like 3-dimensional design. Some of these pieces are so stunning. Like, please go and look. I don't think I'm gonna sell this. I think I'm gonna gift this. Again, it is a more simplistic piece, but guys, if you have like an artistic friend in your life and you're looking for something to like give them for Christmas or a birthday, something really special, something really handmade, like take a look at those scarves, because they are like, I mean, they're like mind-blowing beautiful. Something like this, if I were to sell it, I would probably get, I don't know, 20 to 30. Again, I think this is about as simplistic as you can get. And like, look at the way that the felting comes over. You can see, if I hold this up to light, you can see that the actual scarf, like the silk scarf, ends right about here. Like, this is like my favorite thing, right? Like, I'm probably not gonna sell this, but I learned something completely new, and hopefully put something on your radar in case you see something like this while you are outsourcing, and or you're looking for a really special gift for yourself or for a friend. So absolutely so cool, isn't it? Isn't that so cool? Oh my goodness. Stuff is wild. I'm telling you, alien. They look alien. Next up, oh, this I saw. So this is Soka, and I've recently found a piece from Soka. This is a line that St. John did. It looks like it was a line that they were doing to kind of appeal to younger clientele. Now this is like a little overshirt, and it's a boxy fit, so it kind of cinches in here. It's got a little drawstring in the waist, snap front. It's a stretch silk. The other piece that I found from Soka was also 100% silk. I can't remember if there was stretch to it, but it's really pretty. Like, the size tag has been cut out, but I'm gonna guess that that's about a size large or a size extra large. I think, so the other one that I picked up is like a mustard. It's very, very colorful, and I think it's a little bit more specific. Something like this, I think I can see in a lot of women's wardrobes. It's, you know, it's bold and it's graphic, but it is, you know, black and white. So it's not like over the top. I wanna say the Soka stuff retailed between like $200 and $400. It was still quite pricey. Not quite as pricey as St. John, but pricey. I think it's pretty niche. So on the resale market, I'll probably see like 35 to 40 on this. Again, between the size, the style, and the colors, I think that this will move quicker than the other one. The other one I have has not sold yet, but it is beautiful. It feels very comfy. You know, like, this feels like an easy to wear thing. Anyway, I was excited to see another piece from them, and I'm excited to see something that's a little bit more like basic than the other piece that I found. So let me know if any of you have found a piece of Soka. Like, how's it resold for you? Has it done well? Has it not done well? Let me know. 3 more pieces here. Okay, so this is another Uniqlo collab, and this is a Uniqlo collab that they did with Theory. And I'm gonna be totally honest, I might give these to a friend of mine. I'm pretty sure that this is his size, but this is like, I think these are called like the ultra light pants. Theory, obviously great minimalist, like high-end basics line. These are kind of like, these are made to look like khakis, but they're like tech fabric, right? So they have like a little bit of stretch to it. They're breathable. They've got like an internal drawstring, an elastic waist, so super comfy. I could see these being used as like golf pants. These do have, like, on the resale market, if these don't fit my friend, I'll probably get somewhere between $30 and $40 on them. I don't know when they did the collab with Theory, but it does look like this line in particular is pretty well sought after on the secondhand market. Probably about 30 to 40 on these, and they are very nice. So if you are looking for something like this, or you got a guy in your life that's looking for something like this, they're lighter weight than like the Lululemon ABC pants. So if you have somebody in your life that like needs to wear kind of dressier pants or khakis to work or whatever, but those ABC pants are a little too heavy, they are quite thick, this is like a great option if you can find them in your size. And significantly cheaper, even on the secondhand market, significantly cheaper. Those ABC pants, I want to say, go for $50 to $75 secondhand, even in rough shape. So that was a cool find. Next up, now I found this sweater, and I found this sweater inside out, and the first thing I saw, and I will tell you, this is very pilled, but very like easily removable pilled. So the first thing that I saw when I saw this sweater was this tag, and literally my eye went straight to raccoon. What? I don't know if I've ever seen a raccoon sweater. What is it? It's merino and raccoon. So I'm like, off the top, I know that this is a pretty expensive brand. So I pulled it out and I looked at the label, and it's LPA, which is just a nice brand. This is sold at Revolve, pretty expensive. This is probably $200 to $300. Again, it's pilled. Like, this kind of pilling will take me about 35 seconds with my depiller. I don't know. Like, again, I've never had anything that has raccoon fur in it, so I don't know. Let me know. Have you ever found a raccoon sweater? I know that like raccoon fur coats exist, but I've seen a lot of sweaters in my life. I've seen a lot of high-end sweaters in my life, and I've never ever heard of a raccoon sweater. But anyway, it's just like a basic cream color sweater with this kind of mock neck. I like this neck. It is a size large, so this is meant to fit snug, ultra, like it's lightweight knit, but I bet it's quite warm. So I'll probably see like $40 or $50 on this. I'm not quite sure. I need to do a little bit more research on the knit. And my God, I'm just putting it over here so I can do that as soon as I turn off the camera. But let me know, I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see like if anybody else has ever seen a raccoon sweater. And finally, oh my God. Okay, so as I was leaving, there was a guy next to me. You know, we kind of like bring all of our stuff over to our baskets that we have off of the floor. And he comes over and he's like, do you want these? They're women's vintage. And he holds them up. And I saw the tag. I'm like, oh my God. How many of you are having terrible flashbacks? How many of you are having fond flashbacks? I need to know. First of all, these are under bust waist jeans. These are basically corsets. These are Jordache. They're actually a decent size. They're a size 10. Acid wash to the gods. I mean, offers them to me. He's like, you want these? They're women's vintage. And I'm like, yes, I want them. Absolutely, positively ridiculous. I don't even know what I'll get for these, but I know just based on what they are, because there are so few left around, because they're Jordache. It's like Jordache or Sassoon. I feel like that was it at that time. And that was like the normal folks. And then there was like the more expensive brands, but like Jordache, I remember Jordache jeans. And I, again, don't know what I'm gonna get for them. I'm sure it'll probably be a minimum of like $30, $35, if not more, probably more. And like, this is the kind of stuff that like, I know that productions look for, right? Like if there's like a period movie being made or a period TV show being made, they generally prefer to find true vintage because it's expensive to like custom make stuff like this. So no matter what, if you find something like this that is just so iconically of an era, you want to make sure that you are picking it up. Like, obviously make sure you're minding your costs. But if you see something like this at the bins, I don't care if it's in style or not. There is just always going to be a demand for something that is like very distinctively from a specific time period, because productions, plays, stuff like that, they're always looking for vintage pieces like this. I don't know why. He must do men's. He must only do men's. There's the only reason that I can think of that he would have given those up. I think, oh my God, I'm just looking at these and seeing this now. I think this is the belt loop. Oh my God. I think this is the belt loop. I have a feeling that these will sell in no time flat, but they sure brought a smile to my face, and they made me a happy girl as I was walking out of that extremely long slog of a day. But that is it, guys. That is, I mean, it was I found some really good stuff, despite the fact that it was like I was there for a really long time and those first 3 hours were rough. It started to pick up. I found some great stuff, some interesting brands, some cool things to talk about, some cool like collabs. But I think, you know, all in all, it ended up to be a pretty good day. It was a long day. It was a grueling day, but it was a good day. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me while I go through these hauls. I can't tell you how many times in this day in particular I was like, oh, I can't wait to show this to everybody, because it's just like an interesting story. You know, I remember when I picked up this Project Alabama, I'm like, ooh, an opportunity to talk about Project Alabama. I'm in. You are always on my mind when I am going through those bins. But I do appreciate it. I know you guys are all so busy. Our lives are crazy, and I so appreciate you taking like a little bit of your precious time to hang with me. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. If you ever have any kind of content that you would like to see me make, don't ever hesitate to put it down in the comments. I'm always keeping my eyes out for your ideas, and I keep a little list of them. But guys, without further ado, I hope you have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.